It's our top story this morning, and President Ramaphosa is expected to visit Jagersfontein in the Free State. Sadly, 3 people were killed, dozens injured when a dam wall collapsed. The area has been left in an apocalyptic state, with hundreds of people displaced, their homes destroyed, their cars destroyed as well. Let's go back to Manqoba Mchunu now, who is standing in front of one of those houses. Manqoba, hello to you again. I made the point as I said goodbye to you earlier. If you look behind you, which I'm sure you were going to talk about anyway, the sludge level, the sludge line, is about as tall as you on that wall behind you. Good morning.
Well, certainly, Gareth, I can tell you that we're seeing scenes of devastation here in Charlesville, which is one of the suburbs here in Jagersfontein that has been badly affected by this flood. I can tell you, Gareth, that several houses here have been destroyed. You can just see, Gareth, just how tall that sludge was here. It tells you, just when you look at the houses here, when you look at those grey markings on the houses, that it was as high as, some of these houses. We do know, of course, that some of them have been totally destroyed, and just a few meters away from here, Gareth, I think I counted over 9 houses that have been totally obliterated. Those houses are no longer where they used to be, and we are told that a lot of people have been left displaced. We are told that over 200 people have been evacuated from this particular area. But you can see, Gareth, even vehicles have been swept away. We're seeing many of them here, and residents just telling us, that they were quite devastated. Yesterday, they said that they woke up to sounds that, sounded like, it was just a strong wind that was pushing towards this direction. And while they were still trying to figure out what was happening, what was going on, that's when they then realized that this flood had been coming in their way, that this sludge was making its way to their houses. And many of them saying that they then tried to make a run for it. We do know, of course, that many people did manage to escape from their houses, but of course there are still some people that are still unaccounted for. At this particular stage, it's not clear how many of those people are still unaccounted for, but what has been confirmed though is that 1 person has lost their life. And what we're seeing this morning are those scenes of devastation, and some of the residents really trying to salvage the little that's left. They are going into their houses. Some of them are still just trying to see how much damage has been done, how much damage has been caused. But from what we're seeing here, Gareth, I can tell you that electrical poles are down. We are seeing quite a number of houses that have been flooded. There's mud inside those houses, and some of the owners just really looking and trying to see how damaged their houses are and whether or not they can go back to their houses. And this is one of them, a gentleman here in this area. You saying that you were in your house yesterday morning when this all happened.
I was in my house and when the water came, I tried to close the door and the water pulled the door open. En toe ek klim op die bank, ek en my honde, toe kom die water in die huis in. Ja, maar het was sonde gelijk. It was very bad. Ek het geskrik en maar 'n gebedjie opgesit. Ja.
You just went into your house now. How is it? How is the situation there? How is it looking like?
All my stuff is damaged. My kitchen stuff is gone, was damaged. My furniture in the house, my TV, all my stuff. My cell phones, my everything.
You told me that you also, a mechanic, and so the vehicles that you operate on, your clients' vehicles are also, strewn everywhere here.
Strewn anywhere. Strewn allemaal daaronder. Die Kia, die Jeep, my Ford van, my 2 sangjonge en die ander sangjong staan hier bo. Die BMW, dat is allemaal daaronder. Afgeskryf.
So where are you now? What's going to happen? Where are you sleeping now?
I'm sleeping on top here by Dries Ferreira, Eerstelaan. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, thank you for speaking to us. Well, I just want to move this side just to give you a picture of what's happening here, Gareth, so that you can just see what we're talking about when we talk about those houses that were destroyed here in this area. Walking on sludge here, the ground is still quite volatile, and just moving here, you can just sense and tell that it is still quite very dangerous to be around this particular area. But you can see it, Gareth. It gives you a picture of just how powerful that flood was in this area. Several houses are still submerged in this sludge, and I can tell you, Gareth, that some roads here have also been badly affected. Some roads are still inaccessible at this stage. There are community members that are trying to walk across the sludge, and we are also seeing teams of disaster management officials that are here on the ground this morning. We're seeing teams of search and rescue that are also here this morning, that will be continuing, of course, to do the work to try and see perhaps if there are any other people that are in distress, or any other people that might need assistance as far as that is concerned. But I can tell you, Gareth, that the scene here, this is what we're seeing this morning, scenes of total destruction. Of course, at this particular point, it's not clear how many people are still unaccounted for, but many residents, demanding answers. They are hoping to get answers as to why and what led to what is happening here. Of course, at this particular point, there's still no one that has, come out in terms of, responsibility. We know that this mine had not been operating, but it was under ownership of one of the developers, or one of the miners here, or developers in this particular area. But in terms of exactly who will be held accountable, I think those are the questions that we're still going to be asking when we do speak to officials. But the president, of course, expected to come here in this area just to assess the damage. We do know that there are also national disaster management teams that have also been sent here to assist when it comes to issues of search and rescue, as well as other interventions that are needed here. But many residents displaced here this morning, and many of them, of course, unable to go back to their homes.
Absolutely, because those homes far too dangerous to walk in. There's so many questions right now. It's about making sure that search and rescue do what they can. But the questions, as you quite rightly say, who owns this mine? Who did own this mine? Where was the responsibility handed over to? And what happened with rules and regulations? That's how we ended up in this disaster. The question is, who is responsible? And Manqoba Mchunu, thank you very much indeed. We'll come back to you again for regular updates out of Jagersfontein today.